Hey everyone, Deadwing here again with another villager analysis. This time around I'm going to be doing another kind of commentary track over the game. I actually recorded, or rather I was talking during the game, so you might see some weird little mouse movements here indicating as much. But unfortunately I forgot to enable my mic in OBS, so here we are again doing this whole thing. This is going to be another playstyle for villager, like I mentioned. This is going to be what I call power villager. And this isn't going to be like the full-on aggro I was talking about playing in the last video, where I just go ham in day one and everything's about pushing day one and I end up getting killed for whatever reason or something like that. Or, you know, I at least out someone in day one. You kind of have to take games as they flow, as they go. So I might set up for an aggressive play in this game, but it doesn't exactly go that way, and it's a little bit closer to the start I had in the last game, but we get a lot more information, and I get to pull the power card, which is basically acting with more power than you actually have. So you guessed it, in this case it's pretending to be a power roll, and I pretend to be a cop here. I actually make use of those notes on the right side. You see that I made up the templates for cop and medic. You might also know, I think the templates are different. They're typed differently here. It's because I like to kind of switch things up so people can't guess who I am, just in case I survive past the time I claim my role, right? So anyway, as you can see here, it basically says, let's go guys. We already know who this is. Let's just get this over and done with. And I jump on Smurfette for the third F, which is funny because no one else seems to think she's the third F, but she is indeed the third F, you blind fools. Smurfette says, hell no, and I say, hell yes, Smurfette. And I just wait to see if anyone takes the bait. Some people do. Zombie jumps on it. Zombie is someone I come back to later in the game, or at least in terms of spectating. I believe he does end up being... I can't remember, it's been a while since I played this game, but I do think he ends up being Mafia. But he's not the focus here. This is day one. We're looking for all sorts of information. We're going to piece the patterns together during the night, at least in this specific scenario. So you can see I'm doing a bit of note checking already, seeing if anyone's tagged me, like asking like, oh, why Scooby, like right there. Scrappy said, why Scooby? I'm just seeing if anyone's responded to me, taking the bait, seeing where the dynamics are, like Zombie jumping on Smurfette. Did anyone else at this time? I don't think, I think one other person did it this time, but Velma, I believe, also asks, like, she kind of jumps in really quickly, but then she gets off. And I believe Smurfette was kind of prodding me on, like, so what's the rationale behind me? And I say, I'm just saying, Smurfette, I happen to have a good idea who Mafia is, and voting on you, that's a pretty good start. And you might notice that I don't actually say I think they're Mafia. So anyone who's like actually analyzing, like, say I come out as cop, and then let's say this pertains more to role reveal off, but say I come out as cop, I get someone killed, and then I die, and no one knows my role, and then people go back and analyze my chat to see if there's any, like, see where things line up, see if they can get any more clues. If they were to analyze that sentence, they'd see that, well, just judging on how he said this and then got off later, Smurfette's probably not going to be Mafia. So that's why I like to word things very particularly like that. I'm clearly not on Smurfette at this point. I'm on as far as the vote goes, and that's it. So I'm starting to see some patterns here. I believe I was looking at Elroy. Elroy jumped on really late for some reason. And then you can see like Zombie jump off and onto Scrappy. This is why I'm like, oh, Zombie not looking too hot right now. But Elroy, for whatever reason, was super late. And I think he was deflecting off of someone else. I can't remember if I go back to check into that, but what ends up happening in this day is I'd start to kind of tunnel onto Elroy. So let's just wait for me to scroll all the way down here after I've read a bit. Creeper, there we go, blah, blah, Zombie online, blah, 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 blah. And here it is, yeah, Smurfette silent voted. Like, no, she didn't. I know. Barney's mentioning Elroy for whatever reason. Barney, sorry. I can't see what they said before, but I'm not rewinding now. It's too late, we're already past that point. There we go. I fucked Betty and never mind. Why does this happen every single game? God damn it. I need to really like review these much more thoroughly before I do the commentary. Anyway, so yeah, Elroy jumped on the Smurfette here. We can see that. So I'm just like, you know, And then he jumps somewhere else. So at this point, I'm fairly certain, like, this is the person I'm gonna try and find. I think someone just died. Let me just see. No, it did not. I just was looked at like some weird thing on the left hand side, the player list there. But, oh boys, this is an interesting schminteresting. Now, just in case this has happened before, where like me talking properly or using proper grammar or using a lot of punctuation, like proper punctuation, has gotten me killed just because people say, hey, this person can type coherently. They might be smart. So this is me just saying something stupid, just fucking stupid. Smart players might still see this and think like, oh, he's picked up on something. But generally it's just me throwing kind of random shit out there. Just so hopefully maybe someone will get off of me. It's just a really nothing statement, and it makes some people think like, oh, maybe we can pocket this guy to suss him later or something, blah, blah, blah. So here we are, I'm reviewing again. I was looking at the bandwagons on the Dynamite for whatever reason. I don't know why a bunch of people were on Dynamite. People kept trying to frame Dynamite. This is really weird to me. I just don't see any reason to go into Dynamite. Scrappy kind of came up, is kind of weird to me here too because of that. Smurfette got on real late, so that's kind of weird, but like the rest of Smurfette's day makes me think like, well, there's so many more sus people here than Smurfette. So I'm still kind of feeling good on Smurfette. Nobody knows who Dynamite. Oh, thanks. Dynamite votes on Smurfette, so that's kind of weird. But that might be just because I had already gotten a few people onto Smurfette, so they were just trying to jump onto whoever else was kind of close to a majority, right? So yeah, here we go. It's power gaming time. Come on, come on, type. I'm thinking right here. I'm just like, who looks the least sus? There was a lot of people who like I wasn't really sure on, because we've been through enough people here that are sus and enough people that are just kind of blended, so it was hard to really say. But in the end I go, you know what, Yogi didn't really stand out to me as being like particularly bad. I think Yogi's probably town, and I don't see any real dynamic between these two players that might think like, oh, I might get Elroy killed but spare Yogi, because if Elroy dies based on those fake notes dynamic, it might paint Yogi as town when he might not be, right? But in this case, I'm fairly certain he is. So anyway, I'm still just doing some note reviewing. You can see on the right side there, then the day's already started, everyone's chatting. And I go, you know what? Let's fucking do this. Mafia! We did it! Exclamation marks. And just vote him up real quick because I'm very confident. Popeye says Elroy, he's on the right track too. See who votes onto this and who's late. Droopy is kind of late. Like, Droopy kind of, he blended or coasted yesterday, so that's kind of weird. Who else here? Someone is dumb. Oh, yeah, and Popeye also jumps on this real quick too. Yogi. Fucking idiot Yogi. Yogi goes, like, day 2, why would a fake cop come out like this? So, you gotta think about this, Yogi. Okay, I come out as fake copy and you go, that's fake. I'm the real cop. Thankfully, Popeye picks up right away. He says, I'm the real cop. So in case Yogi is actually the real cop, Popeye's there as like a distraction. Maybe Popeye is actually, and Yogi's faking because I got Elroy killed, right? But yeah, let's just rewind that real quick, because you can see here, and this is actually where I am going to pause. So you hear a gunshot. Scooby-Doo, the villager, has died. That just confirms things, right? Like, I had it right, I got the read rights, and they shot me because they thought I was a real cop. So this is risky for newer players who don't know how to read other players or general town patterns super well, but it is something you can do. You can actually be a villager and fake a claim for something else. It's easiest if you want to like out someone. As Scum, it's easiest to do the cop, right? You do the fake cop report. And again, I believe I mentioned this in my last video where you say, like, you out as cop, and then you be ready to immediately retract. Say, I retract, based on the votes or whatever, if you just want to get some information to see who votes and who doesn't. And when I saw that, like, a bunch of who I thought was already sus wasn't voting on this guy, that's what it was like. I'm like, okay, I'm confirmed this guy is who I think he is, because none of my other susses are jumping onto him. Yeah, so I just stayed on. I didn't retract, and everything came up honky-dory. So there we go. If you have any questions, like I said, jump down into the comments, ask away. I will ask any questions of what you might have about certain things I've said, things I might not have commented on in the game here, etc. And I will hopefully soon, I haven't been playing a lot lately, but I will hopefully soon have a Super Turbo Day 1 aggressive villager game to show you guys soon. See you guys next time.